Good Saturday morning, YouTube. 8 a.m. this morning, that's a lot earlier than my usual thing, and this camera is just about out of battery, so I'm going to switch pretty quickly here. Instead of running back home and getting my battery charger or whatever, I'm going to use this camera here. This is my second choice for vlogging camera, and I haven't used it a lot. Microphone's a little bit different, but other than that, this is a great camera. Let's switch to that. On that today, and there you go, my other camera ran out, so I had to switch to this one early. Anyway, like I said, I left my charger at home for that. I'm not going back through that cold and whatever. This early at least. To grab it. This camera is far sufficient, and I have been wanting to use it for a little while. Backup camera. Anyway, what's up for the vlog today? Today's vlog, I am motivated. Let's get a bunch of watches going. About half of these are broken. That one's broken. Let's see. Well, this one has a cracked crystal, but may work. So I'll have to see on that, and I just know there's some other ones in here. This one's sort of broken, it works, but it's pretty rough. So I'm just going to tackle these head on, and let's see how many can I get done today. It's a really good camera. I paid about $180 for it, so it's a good option for vlogging on a budget, if that's what we want to do. So I guess we'll see how it turns out today. I know the audio is just a hair worse than my other camera, and that's why I don't use it super often, but it does have the flip forward screen. It should have fairly good focusing. It's the one with the phase detect, and I don't know, has a good zoom range. You can actually like zoom in and out at will, unlike some other cameras. So we'll see today how that works out. So one thing I did not have enabled just then was the phase detect super fast autofocus. Now it should be enabled if I put my hand here or something. I don't know, haven't played around with it much, but it should focus super quick. Even compared to my other camera there, it should be right on. So anyway, let's get some of these watches' batteries changed and tested in a very timely manner. It had quartz by Citizen. As you can see here, the crystal is a little bit cracked. It's a plastic crystal, but let's replace the battery and see if that one works. First up, I'll just get some tools out. Is a snapback, so I'll get my little snappy case back opener. No, not that. I'll get my Victorinox little snapback opener, snapback knife. They call this thing. And find a little indent here. There you go. Got a CR 2016 battery. Unusual. Set that one aside. I don't think I have any of those left. Next up, a little guess. This one says 1995 on it. Let's see what battery that one takes. If I had to guess, probably 377 in this one. And yep, sure enough. These very standardized movements here. Carefully pop that out of there. And there are my 377 batteries there. Grab one out of there quickly. And let's check that's running here. And yes, sure enough it is. Probably will have to get the case press on here to get this back closed. It seemed to come off pretty tight. I guess we'll see here. Yep, probably get that. Let's get the whole little watch tool case right here. There we go. Extra dies for it here too. Let's just get that situated in there and pop that back on pretty quick. I think the biggest thing about listing a bunch of items today is just keep it moving. Just got to get down to it early, start early, and just keep going. It's the whole deal. A lot of times I start late, I get distracted, all that fun stuff. So today, just get going early, hit the ground running, should be good. There you go. New battery in that one. Actually a plastic crystal on there. Huh, didn't know that. No clue on the market for these Guess watches. They're pretty cool. We have a bunch of them. We'll see. I'm sure they vary. This one says 1995 on the bottom. So not super old, not super new. Have a little Sharp watch here. Like the appliance company. Or what does Sharp make? TVs? Yeah, TVs. They made some cameras. They made basically everything. So it's a Sharp watch. Use a battery 377. Says it right on the back plate, so that's always nice. These are slightly collectible / desirable. Somebody had one, wants a new one to replace it. We'll see if this one works. Doesn't have a battery in it, so it might not. Usually when the battery's removed from a watch, it's a sign that somebody has tampered with it. And then sometimes it's just a sign that I took it apart earlier and forgot to put a new battery in it, which in this case it might have been, because I thought I was playing around with a Sharp watch a while back. And there you go. Seems to be running. I'll have to test the little date function on this thing in a little while. Curious if this camera can focus closer or if I'm just not figuring it out. Because I know if you zoom in, maybe that would help. Yeah, that seems to help. So whenever I want a close focus, I guess I'll zoom in. Okay, next up, Precision Quartz by Gruen. I know I was in the process of replacing this one. This is the last one of my last batch. So I'm not sure if it didn't work or something different. Let's get it popped open here and see. This is one of those cases. Locked down this tripod a little bit more because it's definitely a little bit loose and everything. There you go, that's the faster focusing I was thinking about. As you can see, there's actually a little arrow pointing to an indent there. Even though this looks like a screw back, which means you have the little lugs and you kind of twist it, it is not. It's actually a snapback. It's a fake screw back per se, or I don't know what's the better word for that. A faux screw back. You can see, just kind of put the thing in the indent there, it popped right off. I'm going to zoom this in and out now. And let's see, 364 type battery goes in there. Put the cap over there so you protect the little coil. Grab a 364 type battery. Oops, got one right here. Pop that out and put it in there. And I just need to get the back aligned and back on there. Should check if it's running first though. Definitely condense this all down. If I'm going to be doing a bunch today, this is going to be a long video if I decide to talk about each one. So probably just quick pop, pop, pop all the way through the whole thing here. And let's see here, it does not seem to be running. Can't really see it there. But as you can see, it doesn't seem to be running. I'm going to do a little bit of troubleshooting. I'll just put the battery in and out, check for corrosion, anything, and then write it off as a non-working. It's a battery 364, so that should be correct. Push the battery in there a little bit further, get it seated maybe. So that's the deal. The battery needs to be seated a little bit better. I have to see if that stays, or if it pops out here when I this cap on here. But it had a 377 battery in there for a little while, which I think kind of stretched it out a little bit. Hopefully that'll work now. Just see, tap it around here for a minute. As you can see, it is running now. If you like tap it. And see, that's what my suspicions were. It does stop running. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I think it needs a spacer in the battery compartment there to make that run correctly. Good news is it works. Bad news is it definitely needs a little bit of thing here. Let's figure it out. I think a small piece of electrical tape on the battery door itself will remedy the issue. So let's figure out what point here would contact the battery and put one there. Not sure why it wasn't like that from the manufacturer. Maybe it was and just got misplaced or something. But it's definitely an issue. Definitely not looking to repair a lot of watches, but if it's that easy to repair and I can try it out, I might as well. So we'll see how well this works. Definitely won't sell somebody a badly repaired watch. And let's try that for theirs and see how well that works. Find my battery again here. What? You can see it's way too eager to spring right out of there. That's where the issue lies. There's a battery retainer I'm missing here. And sure enough, there you go. It wasn't seated there when I first tried it before I pushed the back on. Once I push the back on, it seems firmly seated. Let's tap it around here a little bit and see if I can get it to stop working. That's the test. Still working. Still working. Still working. And there you go, we're good. Okay. Well, I won't usually fix watches, but when I do, it's pretty simple stuff like that. So you can see the back still fits flush, but I just put 4 small pieces of electrical tape there to make a bit of a spacer for this battery in here that's just a little bit loose. A little bit loose for some reason there. So that basically fixes that. And no gaps around the watch cases as far as I can see. That wouldn't inhibit anything else. So I'd say that's a good working watch. Test the day and date functions, which basically pull the crown to the first position and just rotate it one way to modify the day, turn it the other way to modify the date. All seems to work correctly. And then to test the date flip over, just turn this all the way and see how long it takes here. As you can see there, when it got to Monday, it flipped over just as normal. Got a good working watch. Should go well. Okay, next up, Fossil Blue, which is kind of funny. It's the line of watches, the Fossil Blue line, because it's a green face watch. Let's quickly get that battery replaced. So it's the older style with a more pressed steel buckle. They're all pressed steel, but this one's definitely a little bit more different. And it's a screw type case back, so let's try it by hand here. Otherwise I'll get the case back opener, the ball There's the ball right here. And let's see if I need to move a spring bar. Probably be a good idea. Watch case ball needs to be pumped up a little bit, but I guess it's working right now. I need to remember to zoom this lens back out. I'm working if I want to get anything on camera. And let's see, 373 type battery is what that one uses. Let's go see if I can find one of those. Forgot to mention the reason it's difficult for me to list watches super quick, and I was gonna say generally my watch listings take about 25 minutes each, probably all inclusive with the repair and or replacement of batteries, pictures, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, just because I'm not quite as experienced with them, and in a lot of cases I like to fiddle around with them a little bit more. So today I need to pull back on that a little bit. I need to try and get these done as quickly as possible, without sacrificing quality, of course. See, the fossil blue is now running. A few scratches on the crystal, but otherwise not in too bad shape. Let's go spring bars back on there. Okay, spring bar back on there, and I watch like this with all the little sub-dials there. Basically, the bottom one is 24-hour, the right one is the day, and the left one is the date. Or no, I should say the right one's the date, and the left one's the date. That's what it is. Okay, so anyway, the way to set the date there, as you see, just turn the crown at one stop, and then you can test the 24-hour counter if it's moving there while you're moving the hands, and you can test the day the same way. Also test the rotating bezel. I also like to align these right at 60, which is the center point, and that one's ready to go. Next up, we have kind of a promotional, kind of oddball look to book watch. And I'll go reasonably for something. List up at 10 bucks or something. All these ones I'm just trying to get listed. Not listing any cheap ones. I have big totes of those too. These ones are a little bit better. These are made by Sweda, which is a Chinese promotional watch brand. And it actually has a Miyota movement in there, which is a Japanese movement. So it's not super low end. This is a standard 377 type battery. Same as a lot of other watches. A lot of inexpensive watches use 377 type batteries. It's a very common size. And there you go. As you can see, this one has kind of a custom seconds hand there. Just the elite thing kind of moves around in a circle. So that's kind of interesting. Ready to go. Next up, a Loris quartz with a little chip in the crystal at the top there. That shouldn't affect anything. So just replace the battery and get that going. Some of these might need ultrasonically clean bands. I'll see when I get to them whether or not I'm going to do that. And this one looks like it has water damage. So put a battery in it, just quick. But that one looks like it probably has some water damage. And nope, doesn't work. Will not be sold for parts. Too low end. I'll go to the parts bin. Little Coleman here uses a CR 2016 battery, so I'll go put that over here since we don't have any of those right now. Ran out of CR 2016s. A lot of watches use those. Well, be curious to know what these go for retail, but this is a Denver Museum of Art. I have to look at the exact name on the back of it. Kind of a gift shop watch, brand new. The original leather strap and all that. Seems reasonably high quality, has a Miyota movement. Thought I'd go for something brand new like it is. See the exact name on here. It's Denver Art Museum. And as you can see, brand new. And simple as that, you have a running watch. Which, if you see, I just took out the little crown thing here that makes sure the crown doesn't get pushed in to make sure that worked. Seems to work. Next up, some sort of little novelty watch here, so I'm late. I'd be curious if there's such a thing as a fake ETA movement, but this one is clearly marked ETA, and that's the reason why I have it. ETA movements are made in Switzerland and fairly high end. If it says anything about that on the case back. Yeah, it's a Swiss movement / parts. So that's why this one's a good one. And as you can see, that one's ticking away. First, go rapid fire through these. I want to use a 377 type battery. Next up, a little Delphi 2 type quartz watch. Very basic. Early quartz, as you can see, very basic looking. Let's see if it works. So definitely not in perfect condition. These were very inexpensively made watches from the 1980s, made in Hong Kong. Early in the quartz thing. As you can see, there's the date and day, or the day and month, I should say. And you can have like a little second counter there. So, this one does seem to work. The bottom button does not. Might be a light. I forget exactly what that functions. And the time set does. I actually cleaned a little bit of corrosion on the inside, or at least shined up the contacts with a bit of vinegar and a Q-tip. That works pretty well. Part of the reason people like these cameras is because of the filmic look they give. If you see where I zoom in here, just the blued out background and everything. Anyway, another watch here I don't have a battery for. So that's too bad. I'll have to make another battery order here at some point. So it's not the CR 2016, this is a 1616. So a smaller, little oddball one. Okay, Charles Dumont Paris, water resistant. Just kind of a weird fashion watch. Strap on here doesn't really make any sense. Not sure on this one, but should be worth listing. And there you go, ticking away well. Hard to see even macro here. This is a Pulsar women's watch, reasonably high quality, has a crack in the crystal. Let's get that replaced. And there you go, 379 type battery, seems to be working. Final couple here. This is a Frenchie Milano using a ETA movement, actually higher end than it looks. So it's a GMT hand on there and all that. Just need to replace the battery in that, but it definitely is in poor shape. Has some dial wear and no crystal. And there's an example of a non-working watch. As you can see, it's having some errors there. I'm not sure if the hands aren't correctly attached or if it's just broken in general. Hear that tick? It does seem to work, just not very well. So not sure on that one. Probably a parts bin one. Of course, then again, it might just be getting hung up on something, because see, if I put it here to the 12 o'clock position where it's not being encumbered by anything, it does seem to tick normally, so it might just work just fine. It just it's getting hung up on that hand there, which is kind of bent. Not in great condition. I think that's the case where I'll sell it. Somebody will want it for the movement or something similar, and I'll just include a battery along with it. Say battery included, but not installed. Speaking of a watch somebody will want for the movement, here's a Veglia that does not work correctly at all. Pretty fancy watch, just doesn't work. I think it had some movement or something, but it just doesn't seem to function correctly. Sold as is. This one, on the other hand, I think I tested and it actually works. Watch with the broken crystal there. I'll have to decide whether or not I want to remove the glass. I probably just move the glass. And there you go, glass removed on that. And this is actually a very oddball watch. I'm going to have to look up this one. We change the time, it changes in click stops. Must have something to do with that moon phase thing down there. Cases like these where you want to get better access to the back by taking off the strap, but it's one of these push things which are kind of difficult to get out. The easier way in a lot of watches is right here in the link, usually, or the clasp. Usually you can take it out either right here or right there quite easily, just with the same spring bar tool. Just grab a little pin push attachment, push into the hole, and it should pop right out. And they have access to the back as usual. So now I'm using this camera a little bit more. I remember one of the biggest downsides of it is that it overheats fairly easily. Like, I don't know, a good 15 minutes or something. We used to film the $1 to 50K challenge on this camera. We had a whole fan rigged up and all kinds of other stuff to make it record for the 45 minutes to an hour. It's not quite as reliable as my other camera because it is in such a small size, it does overheat. Anyway, there are all of those. Batteries replaced. Let's get them pictured. Let's get them listed. Let's keep going. One thing I forgot not shooting this camera in a while is how quickly it eats up batteries. Man, this thing goes through them super quick. Anyway, here are the photos of those watches. Took me too long to edit this time. I need to speed up a little bit. But I have a bunch ready to go. Let's get those listed up in a very timely manner. Gotta take the first step before you can jump right into getting a bunch of listings done, which means getting these watches done quickly and easily. One thing I really do like with this camera though is just be able to punch in and zoom in on things very quickly. Well, I should have done this before I took all the pictures and everything, but I'm going to put the bands on these watches through the ultrasonic cleaner. Just why not? Doesn't take that long and it makes them a lot nicer for the end customer. I like to sell things as I like to receive them. So a variety of straps off a few different watches here. Let's get them in that ultrasonic cleaner and clean them up. In the meantime, while those are going, let's get my vlog for Thursday edited and uploaded. Vlog for Thursday is edited and ready to go up. Definitely took me a little bit too long. That was a big delay this morning. Glad I got out of the way. Let's get these straps out of here. I gotta get going. With all that gunk off of there, these are just a little bit more clean, shiny, and ready to sell. It's a bit of a waste of paper towels, but I used like 3 pieces for these 4 here. Basically, the secret to drying wrist straps quick, if you want to list these watches within the next few hours, is basically just wrap them in the paper towel and shake vigorously. That gets most of the water out of it, about 95%, and then they're pretty much dry. So that's the easy way. The industry secret for keeping your pins nice and tight in the hole here is bend them a little bit in the middle. If they're slightly loose, just give it a slight bend, even like that, will make them a lot tighter. In the holes, it'll hold the band on better. So this goes without saying, but make sure to put your straps on the right direction. Straps open upwards towards the top of the watch.
There was a return.
Yeah.
2. Oh, I don't think I returned it in time.
That's quite a weird game there.
Here, get in on it.
Yeah, I'm saying. Got my zoom lens now.
Get in on it. I'm serving to you.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'll play this thing here.
0.
Zoom out here.
Okay, I'm serving, I think.
How it's gonna work. Oop.
Oh,
3.
I think I got a point.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know how you got a point. I served to you. I guess you get
Okay, so serve like.
Oh, gotta be
That was
earlier.
4 points. Oop. Yeah, click 2 first. I guess that's the blip game there. I'd like to order a crazy 18-inch bacon cheeseburger pizza for carryout. Okay, thank you. Well, I haven't been vlogging a lot, been listing a lot. Guess it's pizza time already. So I really did not get down to the watches quite as quickly as I would have hoped. But I'm at like 16 of those listed, and I have this big pile that I just sorted out to get tested out and listed next here. Let's get a big jump on those before pizza comes in. So probably just time lapses, and I'll point out anything interesting that I find along the way, I guess. First watch here, Seiko, Type 390 battery. Buttons don't seem to work. I'll do a little bit more testing on it, probably sold for parts. Talk more about this one when I list it. This is a really interesting watch, made in France. This one does not work correctly. It is a Gruen little day-date watch there, blue face, has the strap right here. Ultrasonically clean the strap, sell that one for parts. Actually not a battery-powered watch. This is a Sterling original automatic watch, missing some screws and not running at all. We sold for parts. It's an Armatron watch made by the E. Gluck Corporation, making it better than most of them. Mid-80s. Gotta play around with that one a little bit more. It's a really cool Armatron made by the E. Gluck Corporation. The buttons do not seem to function. Really oddball watch here is a Wilson Wizard watch from the 90s of some point. Buttons don't seem to work. Do further testing on that one before listed. It's a Fossil Big Take watch with a very, very scratched display there. Has that kind of interesting flashing graphic every second. Takes 2 batteries. Drum roll here. Okay, so post pizza here, let's get some more of these watches tested out. Probably just intermit my little thoughts after each one. Not going to show the whole process. Next up, we have a women's LA Express. Little fancy watch here. It has some specialty, I don't know what exactly you call that, stones and stuff in the bracelet, and it's just kind of gold. It's a cheap watch, but it has a good look to it. Pretty nice women's Gruen watch here. Going to put the strap in the ultrasonic cleaner so it can be cleaned. So some serious corrosion / water damage in this watch here. So this women's Timex probably doesn't work. Probably put that one in the parts lot. It's a very well used women's Seiko quartz watch. We'll be cleaning the bracelet on this one as well. Super tiny battery, little pulsar here. Uses the smallest watch battery I've ever seen. SR421SW. Super, super tiny. Have to clean the band on that one too. Women's watches really can be a pain to work on, especially to get the little bands off here, just because of how small they are. Other one here, the Seiko, was quite a pain to get the little strap off. This one, probably not quite as bad, just so I don't lose this little pin. So ones are the spring bars mainly. Hard ones to get in there. Pin-based ones have this little pin pusher. Just push it. And if I get a good grip on it first of all, because it's a tiny little watch. Once it pops it out of there, it's super easy. And here we have a really nice Swiss-made Gruen, actually. But as you saw before, the crystal, unfortunately, is frosted. And basically what that is just a lot of scratches. So I'm going to see what kind of material that is, and maybe I can polish it. I don't generally polish watches, but I do have some stuff that can do it, at least if it's an acrylic crystal or a plastic crystal, not a glass one. This does seem to be a plastic crystal, so I'm going to try it out. For the few that have polished successfully, I've just used this Mother's Megan aluminum polish. I got a tip from some watch forum a while back. Said that works pretty well. Usually just use a microfiber cleaning cloth of some sort, just to dip it in there and use that. Sometimes I use a Q-tip too. Like I said, I haven't polished a lot of watches, but the ones I have done turn out pretty well. It's usually just time consuming and just not really worth it. So whoever owned this watch, I'm not sure what they did, like ran up against a belt sander or something, but that thing was majorly scratched, and after 2 treatments it's getting closer to clear. Probably gonna take at least 1 more to make it closer than that. And after about 3 more passes, it's starting to resemble a watch again. So I'm not sure. Probably go a little bit more here, but I think to completely clear that up, that would take a lot of work. That thing was really crazy. Well, every time I polish a watch, I always remember why I said I'll never polish a watch again. Very time consuming, very laborious, and of course this is one of the worst possible ones. But as you can see, it's still actually a little bit scratched there. That's about the best I can do on that. Just don't feel like spending the extra 10-20 minutes on it, so I'm pretty much done with that one. A lot better than that was. Pretty good. So the women's Seiko watch here, as you can see, does not work. Second hand is twitching a little bit, but it's not actually working. That's a parts watch. Seiko women's watch seems to work just fine. The Fossil women's watch takes a 377 type battery. That one works. There's a Gruen women's watch. That does not work. There's a Mickey & Co. watch. That does seem to work. It's an E-Gluck E-watch by Armatron here. There's a 377 type battery, seems to work. 1995 Guess chronograph right here. As you can see, the bottom hand ticks away, and if I stop it, it resets. Did 1995 on the back. There's a 371 type battery, I believe. So kind of oddly enough, in the strap of this watch, it actually has a pop-out dive extension. That doesn't make any sense. It's all for the fashion, right? Another 1996 men's Guess watch. A Lucien Picard DuFont watch here with a little speedle band. Be ultrasonically clean, the strap on it. Pretty nice shape. Precision Quartz by Gruen women's watch. It's an Elgin Golden Nugget women's watch. Have a Trump Casino 29. Little digital watch there. I'm feeling Trump stuff selling well right now. We just used our last one. The battery this Guess watch takes. It'll have to be for the next order. 362 type. Another Guess men's watch. 1995. Big multi-function digital US Polo watch. See if this one works here in just a minute. This is a vintage Pulsar watch. Yep, Pulsar watch is running. This is a Bulova quartz from 1978. And I guess we'll see if this one's running here in just a minute also. Galaxy by Elgin watch here. Next up, a pretty sharp Seiko dress watch there. Just see if that's running. There's a Fossil Big Tick with the flat ashing cat on there. A fancy little Seiko women's watch here. And with today, in general, I have thoroughly and fully proven that you cannot list watches quickly, or at least I can't. I'm not experienced enough. It takes me too much time to replace the batteries, to test them, to picture them. Everything about listing watches takes extra time. Anyway, as you can see, I have a large pile that have the batteries replaced and are ready to go. But like I said, I'm running out of time. I need to get my vlog for Friday edited so I can have that up tomorrow. So I need to get on that. So we'll see if I get anything more done tonight. But my goals in the morning were very optimistic. Watches just aren't that kind of thing. If I really got on it today, maybe I could have listed 25 or 30. But that's about where I top out. Compare that, of course, to camera stuff, which, of course, camera stuff I think we've been doing here now for about 6 years, so it's a lot different than watches, which just started doing probably a year and a half ago. So, just a little bit different thing, but cameras I can list probably 60 on a good day, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, well, I'm editing this vlog here, and that's taking way longer than I expected. I forgot that I apparently made the mega crazy edited super awesome vlog. So anyway, I guess I'm going to do a second segment here showing the items we sold in just a minute here, which is actually going to be done tomorrow and voiced over on Monday. Who knows how I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure that out. So anyway, that's about where I'm going to end off the vlog for today. those are the watches I got listed. Those are the watches that I have to keep going. Let me know how you like this camera. This camera is a different one that I usually use. It has some pros, it has some cons. It's definitely a little bit different audio and all. So, like I said, that's where I'm running off the vlog for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe below if you enjoyed. Stay tuned for another vlog, an adventure vlog tomorrow out in the snow, cold, and rain, right? No out. Goodbye. Okay, well, it is Monday, and I'm on my normal camera again. Got the battery charged up on that, and all that. That was a long vlog. Oh, man. And, of course, I didn't get down to school, so that's kind of distracting me from getting down to that, having to edit that whole thing. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and let's get into the items we sold on Friday, Saturday, 24-hour period. Well, definitely stay tuned. In the future here, I want to start putting kind of like American Pickers-esque little bought / sold and maybe a little bit other information in there, but for right now I don't have time to edit that in, so just gonna go through these in rapid fire order. First up, Nikon AS1 camera flash hot shoe attachment, $11.99. Then a new old stock Sunpack 62mm yellow filter, $12. A lot of 2 close-up filters for Nikon, $13. A vintage L37C Nikon filter, $11. Hasselblad tripod quick release plate, lower end model, older model, $23. Vivitar 135 f2.8 Minolta MD mount lens. Minolta MD is about the worst mount you can get this lens in, but still $40. A Bosch & Lomb 28mm Minolta MD lens, again worst thing, but it's actually a pretty cool lens, $60. Coniflex little take up spool, $20. Pentax rare eye cup, I haven't seen one of these before, $21. A Hagi Dresden Exacta rear mount plastic cap, original from the 1960s probably, $22. Nikon M mount, 1 extension tube, $20. Raynox skateboarding fisheye lens, $20. Hasselblad little focusing screen, $20, has a lot of scratches. Rakunar little slide transfer thing, a very basic one, $20, new old stock in the box. Nikon Coolpix L810 digital camera, $103. Canon PowerShot SX280HS, $109. Rounding all these up, it's actually $108.29, mainly due to the sales and whatever, so $108, I should probably say. This one has some major issues, and that's the last item. Let's go on the watch channel. I think we had at least one. A couple different watches sold today, but as for Saturday, Friday-Saturday period, we only sold one here. Timex Expedition unisex wristwatch is a 31mm size, so basically men and women sized, $37.04. Hard to find one. Well, if I counted correctly, 15 sales on Canon Guy, 1 on the watch channel. Stay tuned for more of those in the future. Let me know how you like that segment. Anyway, the vlog is over.